Hello everyone. Welcome to the ninth leg of Down the East Coast push trip. I know I've been away from streaming just for a bit, um, but we are back now with the ninth leg of this push trip, and there are a few changes. As you can see, my head is moving a little bit. While I'm not using the Tobii Eye Tracker or any other software like that, I'm using a very simple software, very cheap, called Face Track No IR. Let me just turn that off real quick. And yeah, now that we are back, I'll be using the software throughout the stream and test it out how it is. But without further ado, let's get started with our bush trip. As of right now, we are in Jacksonville Executive Airport and we will be heading towards Orlando Executive Airport. So let's go ahead, set our flight plan. I've tried to get the flight plan to work with VOR, but there wasn't any good route. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna finally use our GPS unit here. So let's go. First thing, we will start our engine. Let's check our fuel flow first. So let me turn on the master switch. So we have good half tank on each tank, so we're gonna turn that off. Let's put our fuel tank to left, and then slowly let's get started. RPM is prop is gonna go full max, throttle just a little bit, and we're gonna put our mixture to full, rich, and then back. Next, let me just bring that down so I can turn on master and alternator. So let's turn on the necessary light, nav light and beacon lights. With that, auxiliary fuel pump can come on, and with that set, let's go ahead and start our engine. So once the starter switch engages, we'll put our mixture to full rich and we'll wait for our RPM to hit around 14 to 1500. As we can see, we have RPM climbing. Okay, let's get back to... Okay, our RPM has it looks stabilized, so we're gonna start our stopwatch here. Let me do this mode, and yeah, we have the stopwatch running, and now we're gonna go ahead and set our flight plan. I don't know why this unit is acting up a little bit, but let's go to flight plan and we're gonna set the origin to Kilo Charlie Romeo Golf. Is it this? Let me confirm. Yeah, it is. So we're gonna go enter here, and then our destination will be KORL. So it's gonna be a straight waypoint about 108 nautical miles. Okay, with that done, when we go to map, let's go ahead, and there you go, a straight line. So we're not going to try to climb too much, we'll try to stay within the VFR altitude restrictions. So with that, I think I can turn off my fuel pump. The timer is running and our RPM is stabilized at around 14 to 1500. A few more things we can do is we can go to, let's see, let's get our meter information. If we have any, yes we do. So the altimeter is 3013. I'm gonna set that up real quick. 3013. Yeah, there you go, the altimeter is set and the winds are basically calm, so we can go ahead and choose a runway to fly at. I think we're gonna go to runway 14. That will give us a straight down. I mean, we don't have to take any turns or anything. And if we zoom in right now, actually I cannot zoom in, I think. So let's go to our charts. So there you go, there we are, and we want to go to runway 14. I guess we'll take left from here, take the Alpha 4 or Alpha 5 taxiway, and then go to Alpha, and all the way we can go to runway 14. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead. We're gonna turn on our taxi light. Actually, there is no taxi light, so landing and strobe can come on. And with that, let's set our flaps for takeoff. So flaps is set, and we're gonna turn off our parking brake and head towards our runway. Let me actually turn on my face tracker. Yeah, there you go. It actually works pretty good, but the only thing is you have to make sure that you do need some time to understand it, and like you have to set the curves for turns, because sometimes it can go crazy. Like it can really go crazy, so you need to figure out what setting works for you. That's the only thing about this plugin or software. I'm personally enjoying this this software. It's a little bit fiddly. Like you do have to work on it a little bit for it to work correctly. But once you have done with the settings and everything, you can enjoy it really good. So one thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my autopilot so that it follows our GPS instead of nav. And I think I forgot where that was. No, that's the landing gear. I think it's this. Let me go ahead, check it. Nope. Oh yeah, it's right here. Okay, with that turned on, oops, we crossed the holding short point. So let's go ahead. Our flaps is set, our landing and strobe is set, and our trims, we're gonna just trim it just a little bit, and with that we can go ahead, line up with the runway and take off. Let me turn on the head tracker one more time. Okay, we have it, so we are good for the takeoff. We're gonna lift off at around 75 knots. There you go. Landing gear can come up. Flaps can come up as well. Let me just zoom in on our GPS a little bit. I think what we're going to do is we're going to climb to about 2,500 to begin with, and then we'll figure out the rest. gotta make sure we keep an eye on the timer. Once the timer hits around 10-15 minutes, we can go ahead and change our fuel tank. So we are almost at 2500 feet, so we're gonna level out right here, and we can go ahead, turn on our nav on autopilot, and let's go ahead and turn on the autopilot. It's tracking the heading mode, so I'm gonna quickly turn this off. This should give us this should help us track the GPS line that we have going towards Orlando. I think so far it was tracking the heading bug for some reason. Cut down on my power a little bit, and we're gonna bring our RPM to about 2300, which yeah, with that it's gonna be a little bit tough, so let me go ahead over here. So we're gonna bring it to 2300, and that should be good for our cruising. Okay, now that we're cruising, a little bit of update on some of the things. So to begin with, if you have been following my other streams, I was using the Logitech yoke for a little bit, and now I'm back to my trustworthy Thrustmaster, the side stick for Airbus A320, but I use it primarily now because my Logitech yoke is not acting up too well. So that's one of the updates, and I'm soon gonna start making videos on head tracker that I'm using right now, and also a few other plugins that I found, one of them being very interesting. So if you guys know about ForeFlight, there is actually a free application that acts just like ForeFlight. Like, you have all the features, you can use the weather layers and everything like that, and it's 100% for free, and you can use it for Microsoft Flight Simulator just like ForeFlight. So I'm definitely going to be creating a video on that too, and of course the head tracker that I'm using right now, I'm honestly very impressed on how well it works, and it costs a fraction of the price of a Tobii eye tracker or any other Track IR, I think Track IR 5 or something like that. And this one costs, well, I'll just tell you the price. It costs around $3 to $5. That's all. It's more like, you make a donation and then you can get the application. It's really cool, and once I make the video, all the links will be in the description and you can easily download that. Well, for now we are heading towards, my GPS is causing a little bit of issues here. I don't know why that is. Default map, yeah. So we are around 44 minutes away from our destination. Shouldn't be too bad. And I'll be back shortly. In terms of streaming, I was actually busy with some other stuff, so I had to cancel some of the streams. But going forward, I think tomorrow is the only day where I might not able to stream, but I'll still try. Other than that, we should be back on the regular schedule of weekdays and around this time. Let me just give you a proper timing, and so that everyone can follow, I'll just give you the Zulu timing. So we're gonna be streaming by around 15 Zulu or UTC, and yeah, we are almost very close to getting done with this bush trip. I think we have 3 or 4 more legs max, and from Orlando we're going to be heading west of Florida, and then we'll be heading back east in Florida, and yeah, that is going to be pretty much, that's the plan for now. I think we're gonna go ahead and switch our tanks. Let me check the timer. Is 13 minutes. Yeah, so let's go ahead, and what we're gonna do is we are going to turn on our auxiliary fuel pump, and once that's on, all the engine instruments looking good, we're gonna turn our fuel tank to the right, and with that we're gonna stop the stopwatch, reset it, and start again. Okay, fuel tank is changed, our auxiliary fuel pump is off. There you go. Increase power just a little bit, and we are around 39-40 minutes away, so let's go ahead and look at our destination weather and charts. Looks like we don't have weather available there, so what can we do? Orlando Executive, what are the runways that we have available? We zoom in here, so we have runway 13, runway 7, runway 25, and runway 31. The only problem is we don't have any weather information. So let's try to get the weather info for the nearest airport to our destination. That is Orlando Executive and Orlando International. So let's try to get weather for that. The winds are 070 at 7 knots. It's a weather there is 070 at 7 knots. It shouldn't be too bad, as it is close. It is like not too far away from Orlando International. So what can we do? If we base our landing on that, then we'll have to go for runway 07. Which is somewhere over here. So we're gonna go and we can join the downwind for runway 07 and then land. Because I think right now we are heading towards, if we look into the map, our current heading is 182. So we are coming somewhere around here. Yep, somewhere about right over here. We're gonna go here, join the downwind, and then we're gonna go ahead and land for runway 07. Let's see if we can select an arrival. I mean, we don't really need an arrival, we just need an approach. I wish we could have like a visual approach setup on our GPS, just like we do in G1000 inside. That really helps a lot. Procedure approach. Approach for. There's only RNAV or ILS. And I think we're just gonna go visual all the way. So we're gonna keep the map out. We are around 80 nautical miles away from our destination, and we're cruising along at 2,600 feet at about 140 knots, 144 knots. The weather is very, very calm and clear as of right now, and it doesn't seem like there are any clouds or anything, so the flight should be pretty normal. Trying to find if I can have wind information. Oh yeah, there you go, wind speed and direction. This is neat. So we have a little bit of headwind. I was looking for this entire time, like somehow I wanted to make it somewhere over here. So now let's see if we can have that same thing over here. I guess not. Change fields. Okay, I think we can. So track, I don't know what DTK is, so I'm just gonna change that into weather, wind and direction. There you go. Oh, I love this now. Yeah, now the GPS unit looks full. I have all the information needed, and finally I got to figure it out. We're about 30 minutes away from our destination, and when we're about like 10 minutes away, we'll start descending down to, let's check the airport altitude is 107 feet, so we'll start descending down towards 1100 feet, and that should be good. It's green everywhere here, and it's really fun to finally have clear days. Some of the legs have been through some tough weather, and the last leg that we did, right before the landing, if you watch the video, oh my god, it was like horrible. The winds were really bad, and we were almost getting like it was very, very hard to really land the plane. At one point I thought, oh, we're gonna crash, but luckily we saved the day. Let me check, the fuel tanks are good. I'm gonna switch it once we hit around 12-13 minutes. Let me know if you guys do want me to make a tutorial on how to use the PMS GTN 750. I will be more than happy to make one. And let's see what other useful information can we have here. So we don't need the track because we already have the track here. So we're gonna go, where was that? We're gonna go to track here, and yeah, we can change it here. Let's see what other information we can have. Nothing really. In terms of function, there are no function. We can have a lot of pages, but we don't need them. I think that should be good for now, yeah. Here we go, we have the wind information, we have the bearing information and track. There's something that popped in my head, but then I quickly lost the thought as well. I wanted to actually do something on this unit. Now there's something, I had an idea to put one of the data over here, but I quickly forgot that. Well, once I remember again, I guess I'll try to put it back in there. Okay, let's go ahead, switch our fuel tank. So auxiliary fuel pump is gonna come on. We'll wait and see if anything, engine, any problems, nothing. We're gonna switch our tank and everything is still good, so let's go ahead and turn off our auxiliary fuel pump. I'm gonna stop the watch and start again. Let me check something real quick here. RPM is still good within 2300. There you go. Meaningful pressure is in green, fuel pressure is in green, and everything looks good. EGT is good. So we're almost halfway there. 57 nautical more miles and 24 minutes to go. We're gonna turn on head tracking right before landing. That should be fun, especially when we're trying to look at the runway and all that. Okay, so I've readjusted my camera, just testing out a little bit with the head tracking, and let's see how this one works. Okay, let's see if this works better. A little bit fiddly here. Yeah, I'll still have to test a little bit more with the head tracking, but once I have it running, I'll definitely make a tutorial and show you guys how easy it is to use an old webcam with the FaceTrack No IR software. It seems like we have gained a few bit of altitude. Let's pull the power back and we'll start just a tad bit of descent to lose that extra altitude that we have, and we're gonna level our flight at 2500 one more time. We're about 20 minutes away from our destination, so not too far. We'll bring this out. Let's see if we can use the MSFS toolbar to get the METAR information. Nothing here, but there is another way we can look for it. For that, where is it? VFR map. So we can use the VFR map, and if it opens, this toolbar has been fiddly too. Okay. Okay, we lost more than we wanted to, so we're just gonna gain up a little bit more altitude, and this should be good. 2500, so we're just gonna try to come to level flight here. There you go, we should be good here. Trimming it is a little bit of a hassle, so we're gonna gain altitude again. About right here should be good. Yep, 2500, we'll try to hold that. As we are closing towards our destination airport, a little bit of rough weather here. We have a little bit of crosswind as we go, and for now we decided that we might end up landing on runway 7. That's what we decided, so let's go ahead, check that one more time. No weather data, yeah, no weather data there. Let's go ahead and check the weather data of Orlando International. The winds are still same. This report was about an hour ago. 1453 Zulu. And altimeter 3013, which is same that we have right now, and it's clear. Everything looks clear, but we don't have any information on our destination airport in terms of weather, at least. Around 40 nautical miles away, so we are gonna go back here, and yeah, we'll change our fuel tank in like 5 minutes. We still have enough fuel. Right now we're using our left fuel tank, and then we'll switch it to our right fuel tank in just a little bit. trying to see if we can turn off the nameplates. I think we can't. Well, this is much better and clean. Once again, we are gaining quite a bit of altitude, so we're gonna go ahead and lose some of that. So two things is, once we are close to our destination airport, we're gonna try, we have to get to about 1100 feet for the traffic altitude, the pattern altitude, and once we go there, we're gonna try to see if we can see any windsock around the runway, which will give us a better idea, and also we can keep an eye on our wind information here to make a calculated guess on what runway to land on. And based on that, initially our decision is still same. We're gonna go ahead and join the traffic pattern for runway 707, and from there we'll see what to do. Let's go and get some more data about our destination. So runway 07. I'll just put 070 on our heading bug, so we have a reference point for the runway. So here you see 070 is set on our heading bug, and that should help us. Better on making turns and everything like that. We are about 12 minutes away. Let's go ahead and switch our fuel tank. So auxiliary fuel pump will come on. And go ahead, switch our fuel tank to tank right, and then turn off our auxiliary fuel pump. We'll stop, reset, and start our stopwatch one more time. This is really neat and it helps a lot. So we're around 12 minutes away. Once we are about I would say once you're about 7 minutes away, we're gonna start descending down and reach the pattern altitude, which we'll have to lose around 1400 feet, 1500 feet of altitude. So we are now 10 minutes away from our destination. Still we're good with runway 07, no other choice as of right now. The winds up here is coming from east, southeast, and at 7 knots. So as decided, we're gonna go to traffic altitude, and then we're gonna try to locate a windsock on the airfield, and that should help us make a decision. Let me just test out my head tracking, which after changing the camera position, I think it's having a hard time to capture the eye. Yeah. Let's go here. It's pretty okay. Yeah, I think I'll just have to set some of the parameters again for up and down, basically pitch up and pitch down. The left and right is not too bad, it's still working. Not as good as before, but I might actually bring it back to its original position as well. Yeah, so back to its original position. It's helping a little bit better, tracking a little bit better. Last night actually I was using this for a bit and it was working really well. So we'll try to go ahead and fix what is wrong with this, and hopefully we can use it today for this stream. Okay. Okay, left is good, right is good. Okay, now it's working much better. We're about 6 minutes away, so let's go ahead and start descending down to the pattern altitude of 1100 feet. And I'm gonna cut down my power a little bit. So near the Orlando area, you can see some beautiful houses down there, some lakes. I'm really excited for the last leg, which will be, we're going to be flying towards Key West, and we'll be taking VFR completely, so we're going to be following the bridges and the road that takes us all the way to Key West from Florida mainland. That's going to be really fun. So we're about at 2,000 feet, descending down, and we are about 5 minutes away. think that could be the airport. No, I think that is not the airport. No, it won't be this close. So we're gonna try to cut down on our speed a lot so that we are ready for when we decide to land. And the first thing that we're gonna do is put our landing gear down to bring our speed down to flap speed, and then from there we can put our flaps and all that. But first we'll need to identify what runway to land at. We're gonna level our flight right over here, just a little bit above the traffic altitude, the pattern altitude. I keep on saying traffic altitude. Let's look at the timer. So before landing we'll have to definitely change our tank to the fullest tank. Right now you can see it's on the right tank. We're about 4 minutes away from our destination, and the winds, well, still we are having winds coming on from south, but the direction is slowly changing, so hopefully by the time we get there we get some tailwind, which means we can still land on runway 07. We're pretty close, so the airport should be somewhere over here. You can see the Orlando City right over here on our, what, 1 o'clock? Yep. We're gonna turn off our autopilot pretty soon, and we'll start hand flying from about in just a little bit. Once we can see the airfield, which I think I do see it a little bit. Yep, so we can go ahead, turn off our autopilot, and we'll start descending to about 1100 feet. So I see the control tower from here. That's surely a control tower, so we are good here. And there you go, this should be the traffic pattern altitude. So we'll try to hold it here, and this way we're gonna drop our speed too. Now all we have to do is identify our runway that we want to land at. Seems like a lot of the airport area is under construction. So I think this is the runway that we are trying to land at. Runway 7 right over here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a right turn over here. Yep, if this is runway 13, that is runway 7. And we see the runway marker, and that is 07, confirmed. So we're gonna go ahead towards the city a little bit. We need to gain some altitude here. And we can go ahead and put our landing gear down. So we're gonna go around these buildings and make a 180-degree turn. Landing gear is down. We'll turn our auxiliary fuel pump, and this time we are not gonna turn it off. We're just gonna switch our tank here to left tank. We'll try to hold this altitude as we go. Just trimming my aircraft a little bit so I don't have to hold my stick up. Right about here is where I would make the turn, my left hand turn, to get the 180 degree my 180 degree turn, and then we will be hopefully lined up with the runway. We'll try to decrease a little bit of altitude too, but we are close to the buildings as well. I'm pretty sure doing this is most probably illegal, but you know, I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna mind us doing this on a simulator. Airfield is somewhere there, and I see the runway lights. Okay, let's drop altitude. We'll put our flaps down. We gotta make sure speed is good. Our RPM prop can go full forward for landing. Auxiliary fuel pump is already on, so we're good with that. Flaps can go further lower. The wind is a little bit of crosswind because right now it is headwind. So once we make that turn, it will turn into crosswind and we should be good. We just have to make our final turn, which is a little bit crooked final here, but that is a-okay. Flaps can go full down. I'll kick my rudder pedals a little bit so it doesn't act up once we land. And I think we're pretty good here for this landing. And the winds are correct. It's coming from 070 or maybe like 080 or 090, but still it's good. We're lined up with the runway pretty okay. We're gonna butter this landing. Not much of winds or anything disturbing us today. Oop. We did bounce just a tad bit, and I'm gonna give you the update on our landing rate. So we're gonna take this taxiway on our left. We could have taken this, but no problem. We're gonna take the next one, which is I think Echo. So let's go ahead, flaps up. After landing, auxiliary fuel pump can come off, and we are going to take a turn and take this taxiway instead. Yeah, there you go. This one should get us to the ramp easy and quick. So this is it for the 9th leg of this bush trip, which honestly I enjoyed. I mean, in terms of flying, if I'm being honest, we used the GPS today because we weren't finding any VOR to VOR route, and if we did take that, it would be going around a lot. So this is the reason why I decided to just go with the GPS unit, but hopefully for the next legs we won't have to do that. And yeah, we're getting very close to getting done with this bush trip down the east coast. And once we are done with this, I have an exciting new bush trip where we're going to be flying from south of California all the way up US Route 101, and we'll get as close as possible to Canada without crossing the border. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna enjoy that too. I still didn't decide what aircraft to use for that. Maybe I'm gonna end up using like a Cessna 152 or Cessna 172. I'm still not sure. Most probably I'll go with the new really good release of Cessna 152 by JP Logistics. So stay tuned and I'll make a decision on the aircraft soon. Let's go ahead, park right here in front of the Marshall. And yeah, that sounds good. Let's turn on our parking brake, and we are ready to shut off our engine. So everything is looking good. We are gonna go ahead, bring our prop and mixture all the way down, and magnetos can go to off. We can turn off our fuel tank if my mouse helps me. Oop. Okay, what is happening? Yeah, there you go. And we can go ahead, turn off our beacon light, landing strobe light, and nav light. And with that, our alternator and master switch goes off. So everything is resetted to normal, and we made it. We made actually pretty well. Let me go ahead and see what was our landing rate. So our landing rate was 127 feet per minute. Not too bad. With this joystick, it's much more easier to land compared to the Logitech yoke, where I think there's some issues with the yoke. When I pull it, it doesn't come, and then suddenly the spring just releases it. So with that, we're done with this bush trip, with this leg of the bush trip. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.